Hi, and a huge welcome to my first podcast. My name is Sabrina, and today I'm going to talk about healing your relationships. I have been on a long healing journey of my own, and I feel blessed to share it with you. Because I feel that it's still a very important theme in our current society, and it's very important to be aware of some mechanisms in our relationships. I have a website called www.dowhatyouLove.at, and I think the main theme that holds us back from really becoming who we are in our deepest truth are old habits and destructive ways of interacting within our relationships and within society. So let's face some main themes of regaining your own strength and inner power and courage on a more healthy level. The thing is, we are social creatures, and we all are, and all of us have a strong desire of being embedded in a loving, caring environment, and therefore we are somehow dependent of our surroundings, of people we love, of some kind of institutions, of the schools we are going to, and of the whole societies we are born into. At least we are meant to believe we are, but the fact is we cannot deny that it affects us in some way and that we are all related to it, especially when you believe that all is one. That's what I believe, and that's wonderful and lived in a healthy way, useful and very healing to all of us. But there are also some ways which are very deconstructive and in which we hurt ourselves and maybe others. Maybe we are not so aware about them, and that's why I'm talking about this today. So when we are born, we are a 100% dependent of the love and care of our mother. And as a child, we are dependent of our family, and that's very natural. It's all being about being fed and cared about, and it's about surviving. And as we grow older, most of us well socialized yet by school or other institutions, which is no judgment at all. It's mostly about the people, and there are some very lovely, caring people around us also at school, and teachers who work with their whole heart. And I just saw that the mic was turned the other way around. It's better now. Sorry. It's just, yes, it's a moment, please. Yes, it's no judgment at all, but it's just we've learned a lot, mostly how to listen and to do what's need to be done. But what most of us have never learned is how to become our own teachers and masters. And when we finish school, we are thrown out into real life, quite unprepared for the amount of possibilities we're facing now, with no one who keeps on telling us what to do with our lives. And many of us, especially if you are very sensitive, or if you are an empath, we are so sensitive for the feeling of others and still used to carrying the weight of the whole world on our own shoulders. And if we don't overcome those habits of caring more for the feeling of others. And again, that's not a judgment. It's just that we really haven't ever learned to distinguish between the feeling of others and our own feelings. And if we keep on doing that, we are to become very stressed and burned out at some point of our journey. And that's the point when we finally have to step back and really face our own needs and desires. And this might mean that you feel quite alone for some time, though you never really are alone. But it might mean that some relationships fall away immediately or are about to fall away. And in this time you got to stay strong. And you got to listen very carefully to yourself and to trust in yourself. And you have to prepare the soil for your new seeds, which want to be sown. And later on, we have to take good care about those seeds and watch them grow. But first, we got to dive very deeply, and maybe we have to deconstruct any beliefs we have learned about ourselves. It's like a reset in some way, and you really got to have the courage to dive in very deeply and face yourself without any judgments of your past. What was very helpful for me during this time was going into nature a lot, doing a lot of energy work and healing meditation. And it's still a process when you start to recognize that you do not have to disperse all of your energy as soon as you regain it. Because I think it's quite a mistake to believe that we do lack in our energy, because I think there is always enough energy. And what I've learned, that even in those phases when I seem to have no energy at all, I started to realize that there was so much energy. It just has been stuck. It's been stuck, and it felt like I was burning inside, and I didn't get it out in a constructive way. And that's when we start to disperse all of our energy as soon as we have it. And Source is always refilling your batteries. But you gotta learn to receive. And you also got to learn to deal with your level of energy. And I think mostly it's not the problem that your energy level is too low. It's just that you get to focus it into something constructive, rather to follow all your deconstructive habits. And these habits might be all those deconstructive thoughts you have about yourself, and also those deconstructive habits, of course. But like I said, I think there isn't the problem that you got too little energy. I think it's just used in a constructive way. And when I think about myself, it's I have always been someone with lots and lots of interests. I've just wrote an article about the theme of like being it's called scanner personality, or someone who always has got 1,000 projects and things on one's own mind, and I've always been told to focus just on one thing and to decide for that one thing I gotta do. And yes, it's very important at some point to focus your energy, like I said, but I think it's also possible as soon as you find a way to live all your passions and desires in a more healthy way, you can still use them for your own growth, and you can do and live a very, let's say, colorful life. It's in this article I wrote that I imagine that life is not linear, and also time is not linear, and I'd rather imagine life as a huge star where you can grow in all those directions, and you just got to be centered in your own always, and to return to your core. And or let's take another example. Let's take the example of this tree. A tree is very grounded with all its roots, and still it wants to reach its, I gotta say arms because I'm not sure what the English word is. Yes, reach. It still wants to reach into the sky and spread in all those directions, and not only in one direction. And it's aligned to both, to earth and to the sky, and it's been fed by earth and by the sky and through the air. It's all interconnected. Yes. Yeah. I think it's very important to discover our deepest emotions, our deepest motives, why we are doing things. It's not about to stop serving others. I think the opposite is occurring then. You start to share your own gifts and talents, and as soon as you start acting out of your deepest love and out of your deepest heart and soul, you are serving to others, but in a much more healthy way. And yes, thank you for listening. If you like, please share and subscribe, and I am looking forward to doing the next podcast. So thank you. Bye.